Well, welcome back to Overtime, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a great week. We just finished kind of all of the studio stuff here for the RLCS Season 4, and we've got the LAN coming up. But before we do that, going to talk to Karma here, who's joined us for this episode. We'll get to talk about her opinions on, the LAN, the World Championship, who she thinks, those are those three words, is going to win. But right now, I just want to talk about you. How you doing?
Okay, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for taking the time to come and talk to us.
Of course.
Your gamer tag, Karma.
Yeah.
Where did that come from? What is that meaning for you?
Well, karma in the root of the word is, what goes around comes around. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of where I picked, my gamer tag. And going through things growing up, didn't have the easiest childhood. And everyone goes through stuff. So when I was younger and like emo teenage years, I was like, sure, I'm going to pick something that, it may be bad now, but in the future can be good. And it's kind of feminine. So it's like, sure, I'll just go with karma. It has a deep meaning. There's a lot there. So
was it something you picked before you got into esports? Was this just like I'm becoming a gamer, or was it like I'm going to try and actually become an esports professional, so I need to like make a good brand,
No, it was totally just, I was like, what could be a cool name with deep meaning? And I was like, edgy, and I was just like, oh, just take karma. That's
cool though. It has extra meaning to you there. What is your background in esports prior to Rocket League?
Deep. I've been doing esports for a long time. So I would say my esports kind of started with basketball, even though it's not an esport.
Okay.
And I was an athlete, and I played basketball at a very high level. And I had aspirations to go to college, and ended up having some health issues and was unable to play anymore. So I had to fuel my competitive energy somewhere. And my friend at the time was like, hey, you should try video games. So I started playing Call of Duty. Modern Warfare 2 was the first one I played. Okay. And I instantly was like hooked on it, and I started playing on this like MLG doubles ladder, and that's where I started. And I became like top #1 and #2 in domination, my team, and search and destroy and stuff like that. So I started playing competitively in that for PC, which wasn't really popular then because it was like all consoles. Sure. It was all console. But I was like on the PC ladder, I was #1 and 2 for a while, and I continued that all the way through Black Ops. And then I thought the game kind of turned bad. That's when they added like the boosting and the jumping off of the ground. And I was like, not into that.
A lot of people didn't like the jetpacks edition there. So going from Call of Duty, what was next?
Hearthstone.
Okay.
My friend introduced me to Hearthstone. I was addicted to that just like Call of Duty. And when I get addicted to something, I'm like super into it. So I got in Hearthstone, and I started winning some tournaments and playing at a high level. And my stream really took off when I almost qualified for BlizzCon. I was 1 game away from qualifying for BlizzCon.
Oh man, so
close.
And
I lost by 1 HP.
So close.
I was 1 off lethal. So I started playing that competitively. And then I started, becoming frustrated with the game and the RNG element, and then I found Rocket League. Okay. Towards the end of my Hearthstone aspirations. So
it's all been kind of PC games up until this point. What drew you to Rocket League, which is mainly a controller game? It got big because of it being free on the PS4, and now most of the pros play on PC, but we still all play with controllers and stuff. What drew you to Rocket League? Just
the amount of fun I was having with my friends. I had never played a controller game before. So it was playing on a controller was really new to me. I played Smash Brothers when I was really young with all my friends in my neighborhood, or like the original Smash Brothers on Nintendo. Yeah. But I didn't really play PlayStation games. I played Madden sometimes and FIFA with my friends, but I wasn't like intense on a controller. I just kind of did it. So that was really a new learning curve for me to be able to play on the controller all the time and kind of master the stick element of it, like the control with your stick. So that was like one of the harder things for me to do.
For sure, yeah, and like with Rocket League, it is a completely its own genre, right? There's very few people talk about being like it's not a car, it's not a racing game, but it's not a sports game either. And so Rocket League is this kind of new thing. Were there any skills that you picked up in Hearthstone or in Call of Duty that you felt like really kind of gave you an edge as you tried to go pro in Rocket League?
I think that in both games, dedication and perseverance through like games in general, and the amount of work that it takes to become a professional or close to the professional level is like that mindset of, okay, it's going to be a grind. You're going to have to put this amount of hours in, and the ability to be able to kind of appreciate, segmenting your practice, like learning what you're taking from from elements of when you're playing. So like you can't just mindlessly play and get better. I usually play a lot, and I'm mindful when I'm playing of what works, what doesn't work, and trying new things and things like that. So I think that helped. And Call of Duty is really about like awareness of your teammates, which I think is an important element in Rocket League, one of the most underrated ones, and reaction time and stuff like that.
For sure. What you talked about, you alluded to, kind of like segmenting your practice. What does an average practice day look like for you?
It depends. I usually segment different days throughout the week on things, but a lot of the time for me is spent in custom trainings when I'm not streaming and free play. Like I make custom training packs to be able to train certain mechanics on different days. Like some days I'll just work on dribbling for like an hour or two. Other days I'll work on like just redirects. And then the other times I'm working reads off the wall. Like I just do different mechanic practice in different days of the week.
Cool. Yeah, it's cool to hear, like, you're taking the overall concept of Rocket League, because I feel like everyone looks at Rocket League and they're like, I just want to get better, right? But you're breaking it down to like its little elements and saying, I'm going to practice, I'm going to perfect this one thing, and even like, maybe going into ranked and not playing just to win, just playing to practice those elements against other people. That's really, really cool. And you've had, on and off success on Rocket League teams. You've played in a few seasons of RLCS, didn't quite make it in this season, but last season we got to see you at the desk at season 3, and you got to be an analyst. That was a really, really fun opportunity there. Talk to me about your experience at LAN.
Yeah, it was amazing. Just going in front of the cameras for the first time with all the lights in front of you is really intimidating. Like, it's really bright. Getting your makeup done is intimidating. For like someone like me who doesn't wear a lot normally. Getting it all on me is like, you look different. It's kind of intimidating.
Was that your first time having somebody else do your makeup?
Yeah. Well, and Sweden. I did Sweden before, or no, Sweden was after.
It was after. Actually. Yeah, but it was still like right there, very, very close. It was like a month apart.
But that was my first time. But I loved it. I liked meeting everybody for the first time at LAN was great, and then doing an analyst part and trying to spread my knowledge and see if other people agreed, disagreed, and kind of, I guess, educate people on what my opinions are, which was pretty cool. Hopefully it was received well, but
yeah, no, it seemed like you had a lot of fun. I mean, we brought you back here to talk to you about this year's LAN, so this will be a lot of fun too. Get to talk about that a little bit more as we move on here. But yeah, it's been great. What is Rocket League's had some big updates come out recently. What's the autumn update came out recently. We've had some new game modes, some new cars. What's been your favorite feature that's been added to Rocket League recently?
That's a tough one. I'd probably say the skyline.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like adding the new cars where I can play them for a little and I switch off. But I think just the skyline's look is really cool. And I like the endo too. I think that looks really pretty. But I couldn't quite get used to the hitbox because it's so curvy in the front. The skyline's much more square. And I don't know, it just looks pretty.
It is. I've been playing a ton of Skyline. Like, I'm not good at the game, but I really enjoy the Skyline. It's just a lot of fun.
Skyline's fun.
If you could add any item to the game, what would you add?
Oh, that's so tough. I would like them to add like personal, like maybe community flags. Like streamers and stuff like that. I think that'd be really cool. But if I'm going like neutral point of view, I'd probably say like a Lamborghini or a Bugatti or like some super sports car that I love. That would
be pretty sick. I mean, it's close to the endo. Maybe give it like a more square hitbox so you can play competitively, but have it be pretty. This has been a lot of fun, Carmen. Thanks for taking the time to talk to us. Any shout outs you got before we get back to the show?
I owe Mystic a shout out. He shouted me out of DreamHack, so shout out to Mizzy. And Axel Toss and Bren. Hi.
Lovely, lovely people there, our host Axel Toss. So thanks so much for taking the time to talk to us. When we come back to overtime, we're going to bring everybody else back and talk about the World Championship. It's coming up here in just like under 2 weeks or something. It's crazy. We're going to break down all the teams, everything that's going to happen with the LAN when we come back here to overtime.